Hi guys, it's the Little We Know podcast. This is episode 3. Yeah, 3. We're making big moves in the world today. We have absolutely nothing really planned. Not gonna lie to
Uh,
you. We are kind of winging it a little bit, but we're kind of not.
I'm not even wearing my traditional hoodie today, so that's when you know we're in bad shape.
Yeah, you're all out of whack. You got Zelda on your chest.
I
We
know.
need to get some clothing, just like one shirt for everybody, just so we can wear it in the. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, at the same time though, I don't want us to turn into like a Wendy's, like we have a uniform or something like that, right?
Hey,
Where I'm like,
just
Jacory, you're supposed to have 2 white shirts, 2 black shirts, and a belt on, and you just showed up today with plaid pants, a purple shirt, and no belt. That's why you're not on the podcast anymore.
Speaking of, today we are a little high and dry on people. Will's all right and stuff, but we're missing Jacory because he's 12 and all, and he's a horrible planner and time manager. So yeah, he is at a birthday party. We're not sad at all. Actually, we're quite upset. Don't let our faces fool you. We are disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, we did need his when he decided to show up and be on camera, like his random energy. But at the same time, it's like, well, yeah, he's 12. He can't even make his own schedule. He can't even drive himself anywhere. So he just got drug along to a birthday party today.
He can't drive, but he does got this little like electric scooter or something, dude, and he rides it from his house out to mine, and it's so funny. He'll be
Oh
on the
my
back of
God.
the like 15 miles an hour, just scooting around.
Oh, I gotta see that. He's got to get that on TikTok.
Dude, I've been trying to tell him. All right, we're lacking on the socials.
Yeah, we are. We
It's
apologize.
100% his fault, not
We're
us.
lacking on socials. We definitely need to check our Gmail, and we need to today intersperse some questions that folks can engage with in the comment section because right now they don't really have anything to talk about. We got to give them something to talk about on this cast.
Why don't they just do what I do? Just talk about how goofy you look sometimes. It's always an easy subject. I'm just saying. I didn't make the rules, man. That's just what they say.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, what are we doing today, host?
So today, I figured we'd talk about, this would be nice with Jacory, but I was gonna say we talk about influences and how they affect your life,
Sure.
just because I feel like it's important for everybody to have a reminder or just be knowledgeable of the subject in general. Just especially growing up, since we're trying to hit that younger age group, and even people that are older. I mean, I feel like it matters a lot. So Jacory would have been great, but of course he bailed.
Jacory would have been great in that the topic would have applied to him, but Jacory would have been so great in that I wonder if he would have taken it serious. He'd have been like, "You two are the biggest influences, and y'all ain't doing nothing except sitting on a podcast every Friday." So he might have dodged a bullet there.
I think the podcast is a cool idea, honestly. Like I sit and think about it and I love it. I mean, it just makes me feel good about myself. It makes me feel like I'm doing something for the world, because all I do is just work. I give people natural gas, and I don't think that's good enough. So
But now we're giving him straight fire, essentially.
I guess. But I think first off, we gotta talk about something else. All right. My day at work. All right. Let me tell you, I didn't do anything. All right. We did 2 services today, and I want to say I cranked out the first one by myself in like an hour. No problem. And then we went to our second job, and we kind of just sat in lawn chairs, like little foldable chairs you do at a cookout.
Yeah.
And we just sat there and just told stories. It was so funny.
Uh,
Oh, yeah.
that's awesome.
And I got paid really good money to do it. Oh, but before that, hold on, backtrack a little bit. Since it's a Friday, we typically go out to lunches, right? So we went to Hot Heads Burritos.
Oh, I'm familiar.
Okay, so for anybody that doesn't know, the closest thing I can say is it's a Mexican restaurant, and it's kind of like Chipotle, where they give you like options, like a bowl or a burrito, and they can you can pick your toppings and your protein choice, rice, beans, stuff like that. Anyways, look it up. It's a great place. This is not brand dealed or sponsored, so
I was just gonna.
watch it.
In my head, I'm thinking like, no free sponsorship. We are an up and coming cast. Like, Pagame. Anyhow, go ahead.
Yeah, you're like. Anyways, so we get there, and I mean, like I eat a lot of food. I'm a big
Yes,
guy. I'm 6'5",
I've witnessed that.
230 pounds. Like I eat a lot, and just working in the heat and stuff. Like it just burns through food. So we get there, and I mean, I always get at least two, but I didn't eat anything at all today. I mean, I
Mhm.
had like blueberry muffins, so I got three to start.
Wow.
I told the lady, like, I walked up there, all nonchalant, looking skinny as ever, had to make her look a little surprised. I walk up there and I'm like, this is gonna be a big order. I'm not gonna lie to you. She's like, all right, throw it at me. I looked her in the eyes, like, do you really want me to like throw something at you, or I mean, like, what are we doing here? So, anyways, whatever. She didn't think it was too funny. So I told her what I wanted, and she's making my three things, and she gets to the end, and she's like ringing me up, and she looks me in the eyes, and she's like, "I thought you said it was going to be a big order."
Oh, got him.
And I looked at her, and I'm like, "This isn't a big order." She's like, "Well, I'd imagine you're going to eat it later." I said, "Oh, see, that's where you messed up. You assumed, all right? You're making an ass out of you and me, all right? This is for right now. I'm going to eat this in one sitting." And she looks at me. She's like, "If you eat this right now in one sitting, I'll give you a free burrito for next time you come in."
Word.
Let me tell you, them first two burritos was gone in like 5 minutes. Tops. All right. Smashed them. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I got a bowl, and like it took me a good half hour to finish it. And I didn't actually finish it. I had like four, average like forkfuls of rice left. I ate
Right.
everything else out, but just after all that rice, it just kind of got to my stomach and started making it hurt a little bit. But yeah, all right.
Oh,
Props to the lady for giving me a challenge, all right? Because I am a big competition kind of guy, all right? I excel in competitions, but she doubted me.
did you excel in this situation? Did you actually end up getting the free burrito from her?
Yeah, she gave me the free burrito when I was halfway done with the third burrito bowl in this situation. She walked out, and the crewmates that I had with me, and they walk over and they're like, "Well, how far you got? You weren't cheating, were you?" I said, "Oh no." I said, "I've been right here. I ain't even moved." So there's little crumbs here and there, and she's like, "Well, here you go." And she puts it on the table, and my foreman was like, "He didn't even do it yet." She said, "That's good enough for me. That's the most I've ever seen anybody eat."
Oh, wow.
Oh, dude, it was awesome.
I got two segues to that story, right?
Oh boy.
What you started to run into, since we're, educational Little We Know podcast, um, you ran into that slow versus fast hunger signal. So typically, when you're sitting down, especially when you're really hungry and you go to eat, your body has like these two signals that it operates to tell your brain like when to stop eating, and these are important. So then that way we don't get to the point to where we're like eating so much that we're making ourselves sick. So people can do that; they can kind of power through it. But typically, when you start to eat, if you wait within a half an hour of the start of your meal, um, your fast signal will kick in and let you know, okay, you've about caloric wise, what's gotten into your bloodstream, you've about hit what you kind of need. And then typically when you kind of blow right past that, the body sends that slow signal and it's like, all right, dude, I know you see 4 bites of rice here. I'm gonna need you to stop, all right, because ain't nobody cleaning up the 3 burritos, the 2 burritos in the burrito bowl after you've thrown up all over this counter here. Um, and then additionally, it kind of reminded me of a time um, when I went to Quaker Steak and Lube, and the most wings I ever ate, which they were like kind of like wingdings, was like 56 wings. My friends and I would go. It was like on Tuesdays. I think it was Tuesdays. They have like a all you can eat like wing buffet, and we were in college. I think maybe like our freshman sophomore year. And we went up to the one at Avon Lake, and we were just challenging one another to see how many wings we could eat. And I walked away with 56 wings. And let me tell you, the next day I was hurting.
Brutal.
I was hurting. I had to work like a double shift at the hotel, and my body was just like, "Oh, you thought it was all fun and games on that day off? Well, let me put you in your tracks on so at work." So yeah, that I always aspired to be a competitive eater, and it's funny that like when I was younger, I could like sit and eat a ton and not really be impacted, and now it's like I don't even know when's the last time I finished a meal like at a restaurant. I usually always take it home.
Yeah, man, that's not me. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know though. I feel like even when I'm like just out with friends and having a good time, I'm like anti take my food home. because I feel like it doesn't taste as good. I don't know. I just like I always order way more in favors of like taking some home so I can witness the greatness like the next day, later that night. But dude, like when it's out there and it's in front of me, I'm like, I got to eat it, you know? I got to. Like, I don't know. I don't
No,
know.
I mean, I once went to a place with Alicia's family. One second, we got the 3-year-old acting up.
I like how he muted his mic. That's awesome.
Well, it's like I don't want everyone to hear me having to
I don't even
talk a 3-year-old on the steps to getting out of a
you know how
chair.
to do, bro. I see. Come, I love him, bro.
I love you, bro.
Hell.
I'll tell them too.
Oh, okay. I understand. My bad, guys.
All right, 1 second, she's stuck.
Well, do. So, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what to do when I'm by myself. I find myself sitting and wallowing in my own self thoughts, and I kind of want to know what I should do with my life a little differently. Today, on my drive home from work, I was thinking how cool it would be to be an actor, especially doing the podcast. I feel like it would be very, very cool to branch out a little, you know? This is my public speaking announcement.
Oh, all right, I'm back.
Oh, don't
I
worry.
wasn't I wasn't saying nothing important anyways. I just had to save a 3-year-old who was stuck on a chair. Um, anyhow, we've talked about food, our abilities to eat or not eat. Let me finish real quick though, right?
Oh, here we go.
Because hold on, because opposite of you, right? I got put on blast once. So I go out to eat at a restaurant with Delicious Family, and they have like this challenge to eat like this hamburger, French fries. It's supposed to be like this spicy challenge, and I'm all about that.
Is it
And
the Wings Cafe?
no, it was a chain place. I don't remember the name of it, but it was like this hamburger competition thing, right? But I asked for like a modification because it had like mayonnaise on it, and I can't eat mayonnaise like anything of the sort, right?
Really?
Yeah, I cannot do it. And so the guy gives it to me. He brings it out, and it's like way bigger than it was in the picture of the menu. And so all I end up eating are the French fries. And the guy comes around and he's just like, "Oh, so you thought you were going to beat that challenge, huh? You didn't do a good job." And I said, "Hey, I'm old, okay? Just give me a doggy bag." And ended it there because this is one of those situations where it's kind of like I thought I had it in me and I really
You
didn't.
realize
So
you didn't?
no, and he definitely put me on blast in front of the whole family, right? Because it's not like it's just her and I. It's like her entire extended family, huge table. Everybody just starts cracking up, and I don't think I've had dinner with all of them since. So
Dude got embarrassed.
I did.
On that topic, though, people, viewers, like, would you guys like to see us do mukbangs? I mean, like, if you guys have a restaurant or something of like your favorite restaurant, for example, like Skyline Chili, like I will drive and go pick up Skyline.
Wait, you live near a Skyline?
I mean, like 2 hours.
Oh,
something
okay.
like- but like,
I'm just thinking like I've only ever went to Skyline like in the Cincinnati area. So
yeah, that's where I'd be going. Well, there's some in Columbus and stuff, but
oh yeah.
would like viewers, would you guys like us to do like mukbangs and try different foods, or even like Will's a great cook. I'm gonna be honest with you. He knows what he's doing in the kitchen. Oh, don't stop it. All right. But I mean,
we just got someone that's gonna be like unsubscribe.
yeah, especially after them dance moves. But send in, I mean, like recipes or foods you want us to try. I mean, if you guys are from like a different spot on the world or a different country and like you have a family dish, like send in recipes and stuff. And I mean, we can even do like baby vlogs or something.
Oh
and,
yeah, for sure.
like of us cooking it. I'm horrible, so you guys would enjoy it. But
Well,
I mean,
I could maybe do the instructions. You can do the cooking, and we'll see how it turns out.
that would be funny. Kind of like how they did in Ratatouille.
Yeah.
You would be the mouse and I'd be Biguini.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah,
We've already tried that. You follow directions pretty well though. You're not bad, but it just takes some practice. But no,
think
I love watching stuff like that on YouTube. I used to always watch things like that on YouTube, especially like eating, like sometimes like eating competitions, right? Where some of the channels that challenge other channels to eat something the fastest or the hottest pepper or something like that. So I'd love to do that just to diversify. Like maybe they don't want to just see us just sit here and talk, but I'll definitely eat like a large pizza. Like while I mean, look at me. Do I look like I'm gonna turn down a large pepperoni pizza anytime soon? Absolutely not.
but I think another thing that or another direction that I think we want to move in this podcast is do like short like vlogs or something. I mean, we don't live on the same side of the country. I mean, I'm like
True.
700 miles west of Will. So, I mean, it'd be a little hard and different and take a lot of effort, but if that's something that you guys want to see, I mean, we'll do it. I
Well,
mean, I think we're going to
do a day in the life, right? Like that was popular a while ago, where people were doing like day in the life.
all right, man. Don't be sounding old and stuff. All right. Don't be sounding old.
Hey, remember? I still struggle to remember that like 2012 was not like 2 years ago. So you have to forgive me.
Yeah, dude. We were talking about things like my foreman bought his house in like 2007. He's like, oh, dang, it felt like it was a couple years ago. It was like 15.
Dude, yeah,
I'm like,
somebody the other day was like, "Oh, 2000, or no, oh, they were like, oh yeah, there's a baseball reference. Like I remember when Albert Pujols like smashed that homer over the wall. They're like, a couple years ago, they're like, that was in 2005. That was 18 years ago, dude. The
wow.
person was like, I thought I just saw that like 2 years ago on TV. It's Don't even get me started because once you get to be my age and you have a kid, that's when time starts to go extremely fast because you're not only seeing yourself get older, you're watching a young child like grow up and sprout up, and then those years become real. Like, I could have thought maybe 10 years before having her didn't really seem like it was that long ago, but 3 years ago feels like it was just yesterday. And it's like, no, she's past 3 years old. So yeah, we can also talk about perspective, right? Like time, like that's something that people struggle with is passage of time, getting older, things changing, um, distance.
I agree, but also another thing about like time moving fast and or slow is like I feel like kind of what you're doing. Like if you're having, everybody says, time flies when you're having fun. Like I agree, but like when you aren't in the world's greatest mindset and you're getting influenced to like do dumb stuff and you're always in trouble and like things like that, I feel like time just goes so slow,
Oh yeah.
so bad.
Right. I mean, like that's kind of back to the topic, the top of the topic, right? Is influences, and I feel like depending on kind of where you are within your life, you could end up in a point where you're like, I cannot wait for this to be over, so I can get to this other point ahead, and then you get to that point, and you're just like, I don't know, like nostalgia hits you, and you're like, I want to go back to those earlier days, and it's like you can't go back, right? All you have to do is appreciate the presence and then hope for the future. But I remember, being younger and being influenced just by adults, like just by the fact of like what it means to be an adult when you're 8 years old and you
Oh,
think about how cool it is to be an adult, right? You get to drive, you get to go to bed whenever you want to go to bed, you have your own money, you get to boss people around because you're used to getting bossed around and stuff around the house. And then you get to be an adult and you're just like, I remember when I was a kid and I didn't have to worry about anything. And it's just like, you got to get to the point where you're just like okay with it. But um yeah, I mean, like it's weird how those influences, more so those impressions, end up impacting you in terms of how you think about like the life you've lived and wanting to go backwards. That's something I've struggled with a lot. But I'd say until I had Nada, I found myself more so kind of like influenced by the past and trying to recreate it or trying to go back there. And now I'm just like, no, I'm good. I'm ready to see what it's like when she's, 10, 12, 18, 22,
When I
30.
don't gotta worry as hard.
I'm ready for her to sleep in her own bed, stuff like that.
All right. So, side shot, brand deals. Don't forget to follow us on all the socials. Instagram, the Little We Know Podcast, YouTube, TikTok, the Little We Know Podcast, and or email us at the Little We Know Podcast. Questions, topic ideas. We also have a new document, a Google form, to where if you want to be on the podcast or have a subject or anything of that nature, you guys can fill it out and we can review it, and then we can hopefully get you guys on the podcast. So that would be a cool idea for all of you guys to do it. Not saying you have to, but it'd be pretty cool if you would. I mean, it'd definitely make you cooler in my book.
Right. Well, and with that said, our next guest is going to be my dude Maj from Bangladesh. He and his father, I think, are going to come on together on the 14th. So if you are at all interested in learning about the culture and what it's like to be a teen in Bangladesh, it's crazy. I've known this kid for about a year now. We met on Reddit. We've been talking mostly through Discord, started out through email. And you ever hear about the kind of stereotypical experiences of having to be a high school that's student who is always having to study and take tests and academics, and wait till you meet Mosh and hear about what it's like to be a teenager in Bangladesh. Test city is all I can say. The kid is constantly studying something. He makes me feel stupid all the time with the amount of information he knows, but it's crazy because he has to work super hard. And I think it's interesting, right? Because he wants to come. I'll let him tell his own story, right? But I think the genesis of our relationship is that he wants to come and study a STEM degree in the U.S. at a United States college. He wants to be in the U.S. There's all these opportunities. There's all these cool companies he can work for and stuff like that. And he he just wants to experience the culture. But it's if you're a kid in the U.S., you just kind of go through our system and then you can just go to college wherever. Whereas for him, he has to work extremely hard just to be competitive for the schools in Bangladesh, let alone to be competitive for the schools in the U.S. So, dude's a super hard worker, very interesting background in terms of his culture and his country. And so he might have his father come on to talk a bit about the Bangladeshi culture because he's I don't really know that much about the culture. It's yeah, probably because you don't have time to learn about it. You're too busy focused on what you need to know to come to the U.S. to study for 4 years.
On that note, I watch other podcasts. I'm not going to, say names or anything because, we're not getting paid. So I'm not going to
Pagame.
They throw me $1 here and there, maybe. But anyways, so one of the people on the podcast, I mean, they're an immigrant. They lived in another country, and they were talking about the process for becoming an American citizen, while having dual citizenship in their home country and then America. And dude, she read off a few of the questions, and it was so mind-blowing to me that how some of the questions I don't even know.
Oh,
and I'm not saying I'm
sure.
a super smart guy, but I went through high school and I was a good student. I mean, I got straight A's for the most part. Don't get me wrong. I had my couple mess ups and flunks and stuff like that. I wasn't Harvard material like Will, but
come
it was
on.
pretty good. High school, it was very, very easy for me. I just did not apply myself. I did enough just to get me through. But I consider myself a very average intellect. But dude, I had no idea some of these questions.
Oh yeah, no. I once had a professor whose her husband worked for NASA. He's a U.S. citizen. She was from Kazakhstan. This was after the end of the Cold War in the 90s. And so they got married, and then she came here from Kazakhstan to the U.S. to become a professor. And I think maybe to do graduate school, then to become a professor. And she was telling us the stuff that she had to know about her husband and what he had to know about her when going through the green card process. I'm I could be married to someone for 100 years. I don't know what shampoo Alicia uses or what her. I don't know anything about the woman. I just live with her and raise a kid. But she had to know all this stuff about one another. And she said every night she would have to like quiz him, and he would have to quiz her on stuff. So not only did she have to know all the, like the U.S. information, like the Declaration of Independence and presidents and stuff like that, but they didn't know like these really like mundane things about one another in order for her to get her citizenship. Um, and I have another friend who's going through that right now, and it's just like we just take so much for granted in the U.S. Like a lot of things about living in this country frustrate the crap out of me, especially when you start to travel and you see other countries and you're just like, why can't it be like that here? But then there's just so much where you're just like, you take it for granted that like you don't even really have to. It's so hard for someone to come from another country to come here just to get in the door, let alone to then become successful. That like anyone who immigrates to this country, and I don't care if you work at a hotel or a gas station or you're the CEO of like Microsoft, like major kudos to you, because that's hard, way harder than the road I had to take, regardless of like it not being easy being a person of color in the country. But it's even harder being a person of color from a different country coming into a country that is already has its issues and challenges. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah. I have a
crazy.
lot of respect for people that honestly like that just keep going. Like even I mean, sometimes I'm sure there's people that get denied and stuff like that, but even the people that like get denied and still just continue to go and provide for the people they love and still try and make their dreams come true. I have so much props to all those people because I'm gonna be honest, there's times in life. I mean, I'm just like, yeah, I got to shut down a little bit. I've lost 6 times, but I feel like that also comes into kind of the influences.
Right.
I feel like a lot of the people in my life are my family. I mean, I'm trying to get closer to my family again, and I just feel like a lot of them. I wouldn't say they're bums. I mean, they're making it through. But
Tell them how you really feel.
no, I wouldn't say they're bums or anything.
Right.
Like
Right.
we're not the richest people on the planet. We're not the poorest. We're very average, mediocre people. But I just feel like everybody in our family is very content. Like they fought, just to kind of get average.
Right. Right.
So I feel like I find myself like being influenced by that, and sometimes in a good way and sometimes in a bad way. Sometimes I'm like, you know what, like I need to do better. Like I want to do better for myself and put myself above that bar that the family set for themselves.
Right. Right.
And then other times I find myself, I'm like, man, I'm so tired. Like I just need to go back to bed. This paycheck, like I'll be fine. I don't need it. And like, I mean, all week, for example, like I've just been super tired and I haven't felt good, but every day I got up out of bed. And the one thing that really made me get out is the word execute. We can talk about that later. And then just kind of like the influences. Like I wanted to do better. If I
Right.
go to work, on a day that I don't feel good, on a day that I do feel good, that day should be easy. It should be a cakewalk. And I think that has a lot to do with the newer people in my life and them being positive and just saying, hey, like you can do it, you're stronger than you think, and just being a positive influence on my life. And I think that's helped out a lot.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like the one great thing about technology, or even like a platform like YouTube or the streaming services for like podcasts and stuff, is that you get to, whether for good or for bad, you get exposed to all these other experiences of ways of living and ways of being, ways to be motivated, ways to be sometimes demotivated. Um, but yet, I think a lot of times it ends up coming to your own social circle, and I think like families typically always want better for that next generation. But I think to your point, it's sometimes just wanting better for your children isn't necessarily enough. You actually have to show them better, right? And so if you kind of grow up in an environment where everyone's kind of like okay with the status quo, then how could you really expect that your children and future generations are going to learn to like strive for more, strive for greatness? If like you're always just content with just being content, then there's really no influence for anyone to ever do better or try or strive for more. And sometimes you just got to find that externally. And oftentimes I think people do. I'd guess that most people probably don't get their strong work ethic from families. They probably get it from other influences. Um, especially when they're teenagers. The last person you want to listen to typically is like your mom or dad. Um, But it's always really important to have good, strong influences. I mean, hey, it's a job now. They're called influencers. Like,
Also, I will say though, growing up, I realized that I find it that you listen to people. Obviously, you never listen to your parents. I mean, you listen to them to an extent. Gosh, dang, that was loud. Wow. Anyways, I feel like when you listen to people like, for example, like basketball coaches and like people of your parents' age, as long as they're not your parents, I feel like it goes through and like sticks. Like it goes in one ear, bounces around a little bit, then leaves. I feel like when your parents say something though, it's just like straight through. But I don't know. I find myself like in this generation that I grow up in. I think I'm what like a Gen Z is what it's called.
I think something like that.
But anyways, whatever generation I am, born in 02, August 30th.
Oh
You
God,
guys let us know. Whatever.
dude, I was in high school.
Hear that you're born in 1923. All right, we get it.
I was pulling girls like before you were
Oh,
even
here
out the
we
womb,
go.
my
You're
dude. Like,
all right. Anyways, but like I feel like a lot of people nowadays are very, very like smart. Like my generation is super duper smart. We have so many like tools and things available to us, but I think we spend so much time trying to find the easiest way to do things. And that's when when the laziness comes out and people start judging and things like that.
sure.
Don't get me
How,
wrong, we have our lazy people, but
yeah, but I mean, I guess like for me, I'm always like pro younger people, and
well, that's because you wish you had your youth left.
no, no. I mean, it's because it's like it's easy to get older and then to keep the lens that like, oh, what I've done is the best way, or like what I know is best, and I'm like, you got to listen to younger people, and I guess maybe what you're seeing, I see a little differently. I see it as like the younger generation is learning how to work smarter, not harder. I don't think there's anything wrong with like being lazy, honestly, because I don't think laziness. Let me finish. Because I think that the way that you categorize being lazy is maybe not laziness. It's efficiency, right? Like someone can maybe get the job done without putting in as much effort, but they're much more efficient at doing it than someone else. And I deal with this every day. I work with younger people who are like, "Why are you doing it that way? That is like that's going to take you forever." And I'm like, "That's how I know how to do it." And they're like, boom, 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 here you go. It's done. And usually people would say, "Oh, you got that done really quickly." Like, and what else have you been doing? Like just loafing around, like not doing anything. It's like, no, I did something efficiently, and now I can like move on to do something else. Or while you were taking 4 hours to do something, I got it done in 2 hours. Like, doesn't mean I'm not like necessarily pulling my weight, right? And I tend to run across that more with younger people where they just are getting things done quicker or more efficiently, or they're thinking of doing things in a way that like I would have never thought. And I'm just, how did you do that so quickly? And they're like, just I don't just being efficient, and then they'll move on to do something else. So I don't. I mean, I try to give the younger generation some grace because y'all will be taking care of my old butt one day. So
You know,
yeah,
it's funny that you kind of brought up the efficiency and getting stuff done because I don't know who said it. I want to say it was like Elon Musk or something like that. And they were on like a talk show or a podcast maybe. And they were talking about if you ever want anything done, like if you're starting a company and you want something done and you want to find out the best, fastest, most efficient way to do it, hire the laziest person you know and tell them you'll pay them loads of money
I
and
think it was Elon Musk that might have said that.
that like they will find the quickest, easiest, most efficient way to do it so they can get back to like being lazy or something along those lines. I mean, don't
Right.
quote me for that, but the concept is there. But I sat and thought about it. And I'm like, dude, like that kind of makes sense. Like I can see that, and I don't know. It blew my mind and it made me kind of like rework my whole train of thought on the sense that like people are not as like dumb or lazy as they seem. Everybody on this planet's a worker at heart and like ready to go and movers. It's just a matter of like if you want to do it. I know from
Motivation.
high school, like I didn't want to do any work or anything, but when I went to the fire academy, like it was just so interesting, and I wanted to learn so much more. So then it was like boom, dude, it was like clockwork, dude. I've never wanted to study so bad in my life. You'll never hear that from me again, guys. No. But like,
Except for this, you're working very hard on this. So there you go.
yeah, I'm just saying, like, it
No,
was a
for sure.
word. I just feel like what you're doing, if you enjoy it or like it and it makes sense to you, I feel like that's what makes all dang. I feel like that makes the difference.
No, I mean, that can't be understated enough because I think that when so kind of sticking to the theme of like influences, when you are used to people who have to work hard, right? So let's take it more to like a socioeconomic, sociopolitical American studies route, right?
People that don't understand what those big boy words mean, what do those mean?
I mean, I'm just going to try to put it more into like and more of a historical like American lens, right? So I think that for the context of our family, for example, they grew up, our generation, we were brought here as slaves from the Congo and from Nigeria. It's originally where um, our grandparents are from. Um,
Our grandparents, as in me?
yes,
Sweet.
Congo and Nigeria, brought here as slaves. The other half of us, since we're biracial, was like England, France, and some other BS place. But for the black ancestry, though, they were brought here from the Congo and Nigeria, right, to work in fields, to work as slaves. Then, and they were primarily in the Mississippi Delta area, which is primarily where your grandparents' um, family's from. And then became sharecroppers and never really quite owned land, but worked other folks' land. Hard work that like it requires. Um, I wouldn't necessarily say like a lot of dedication, right? But I think it requires like a strong work ethic, right? You're up dusk to dawn working. But what you can't do is you don't have time to think like efficiently. You don't have time to think creatively. You don't have time to just think about what else might you do, right? And so as our generations went on, some people in our family went to college, a couple of the aunts did, but for the vast majority of the family, like no one went to college. They instead took that work ethic and then they worked in plants, not coal, you know, plastic, metal manufacturing, Ford lines, stuff like that. A lot of uncles ended up in some of the Ford GM plants and stuff like that. And I think that ultimately for your for your mom and aunts and me, what we learned was that hard work of, oh, you have a hand raised. Yes.
Oh, how was you clicking buttons, man? My bad.
Oh, no,
I gotta
it's
keep
actually,
very
yeah,
energy around.
no, but it's like, I know I'm like the professor here. Like this is Professor Cartwell Corner right now. But that is just all to say though that like,
Oh,
when you have privilege in this country and you have the opportunity to think, you know, the old saying is like, I did this and this and that over the generations, so that way my grandchildren could become artists and poets, right? Like it's a privilege to have like that as a profession because you can take that risk because your family has the means and wherewithal to where the grandchildren can do whatever they want. When you're not poor, when you're not rich in this country, you have less risk. You're more risk adverse. And so the thing that everyone can do is hard work. But typically what hard work also requires is like some opportunity to think creatively about how can you apply this to a broader spectrum in order to work more efficiently, right? What's the point in killing yourself working 70 hours a week in a plant to make $32,000 a year when like you can think creatively and maybe go get an AA or a BA and then make double that after you graduate, right? That's like the big thing that's like a pretty big influence for a lot of people who have grown up in low income communities is like they learn that hard work for sure. They don't have the time to think creatively about how to apply that to other means.
So with that being said, kind of talking about, like different types of people, like upper class and lower class, we'll just use those, like millionaires and, bottom of the barrel type people. No offense to any of them, all right? I have a lot of respect for lower people and I have a lot of respect for the higher ups, the people that earn their stuff and the people that are working on earning and, just trying to get by with everything they can because everybody has their own struggles. Just want to make that clear. But I mean, how does kind of like where you live, like how does that kind of affect like your lifestyle and the way that you are, your mindset? Like, how does that influence you? Because I feel like growing up and like a penthouse and mansions and stuff like that from an early age, everybody the stereotypical thing is, oh, they're stuck up and it's daddy's money and everything else,
Right.
compared to someone that grew up in a lower social class, and it's like, oh dude, they're a worker, like their whole life, they bust their cheeks balls to the wall all day and all that kind of thing. So I mean, do you think like do you think that like influences like your mindset and the way that you work? Do you think
Yeah,
that affects or correlates to your success in life?
for sure. I mean, like anything I'll say is just, I mean, my background is in psychology, so um, I think that
You're psycho. That's what that means.
no, like I think at a baseline, right? The way I try to think of it is like this. Um, Akin to kind of like what you said before, we all have problems, right? But I think that within, you know, lower socioeconomic status folks versus the 1%, they all have like multiple types of people. People who are hard workers and people who are lazy as heck and can't work and won't work, won't do anything, right? Some won't work because they just don't have the motivation or they don't have the access to do what they want to do. And then some won't work hard because they don't have to. Like if I'm a trust fund baby and I'm totally fine with being a trust fund kid, like what do I have to work for? Like I have money in the bank. Like I can do whatever I want. Like I'm probably not going to be able to spend it all my lifetime. So why would I work hard? Like why would I and this is just from my perspective. Like I wouldn't work if I was a multimillionaire and I'm content with that money and I don't need to necessarily turn it into more money. Oh, I'm not going to work hard. The worst thing I can do is win the lottery because I'd probably quit my job like before I even got it officially confirmed that that I won the lottery, and then probably be the dude on Monday saying, "Hey, boss man,
Be
yeah,
honest
that
with
was a
you.
7, and I had a 9." Um, and then but then for poor folks like there are also people who just don't want to work. They just learn to live off the system. That exists, I think, across all. So I don't necessarily want to think of your environment as a dictator, right? Your environment can like help necessitate some things, but I think ultimately I think it just we're talking about human nature, right? Like influences can impact everyone, but it's like this is just a human nature thing. I think we're all prone to it. um it's like I tend to think of it like this: like you can be a genius and like not amount to anything, but if you're a genius who works really hard, like you can change the world. Like there's so many highly intelligent people who haven't done anything because they just lack the work ethic to apply that innate gift that they have, right? Like when someone comes up with a new technology, people just think like, "Oh man, you were able to do that because you're so smart. You had access to all this stuff." And it's like, no, they had to work really hard. Who knows how many times they failed before that technology actually became something that was of value. So yeah, yeah, so everyone on the cast, my role is going to be more of like your sweet grandfather slash older father who has all this wisdom. You just want to kind of pull up a chair and get a nice glass of milk and a blanket,
Oh, that's
and it's
nasty.
story time. It's socio-political story time with Uncle Will.
Hold on a second. Hot take. Milk is disgusting. Like plain white milk, disgusting.
What?
What? What do you mean? What? You nasty dude.
Dude, it's not like I don't like walk around
Nah,
drinking like
man, don't
cups of
lie to
milk and
me. You
shit,
get
but
up in the middle of the night. I need me some milk.
no. But if I have cookies, I'm definitely gonna get a glass of milk for sure.
See, don't get me wrong.
For
Milk's got its
shizzle,
purpose in
for
life.
shizzle. All right, dude. Top 5 drinks. Let's go. Top 5
Top
drinks.
five?
Top
Water.
5.
Hey,
No,
water.
sorry. Top 3. We don't have time for 5s.
Yeah,
We learned that with J-Man. Top 3
water.
drinks.
I got number 1 right there.
Okay.
Can't beat it. You need it to survive. Come on now.
Okay. For me, seltzer water. I can't drink plain water, but I can drink seltzer water.
You can tell that you're bougie and rich compared to me because I drink tap. All right, tap
Dude,
water.
you can turn tap into seltzer. All right, number 2.
All right, number 2, I'm gonna have to go with. Can I do a broad like Gatorade, like a company like that? Can I say that?
Sure. I mean, we're not like doing a tier list, but maybe one day we will have to do a tier list.
I'm gonna say Body Armor.
Body Armor. Okay. Number 2, I'm gonna have to go with. If I don't have seltzer water, what do I reach for next?
Dude, you're gonna say some corny old drink, man. You gonna say like corn syrup?
No,
You're gonna
coffee,
say apple.
coffee.
Okay, that's a valid pick, but I don't support it in the sense that like I don't drink caffeine, I don't drink carbonation, like nothing like that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Healthy.
Oh no, not even close. It just doesn't taste good to me. That's
Okay,
just
number 3.
Number 3. Oh man, this is tough because all I drink is juice and water. I'm gonna have to say like
Milk,
juice.
orange juice.
I love orange. I'm a whore for orange juice. All right, I tear orange juice up.
Yeah, I started boycotting orange juice because so many of the oranges come from Florida, and after that, Tavon or
Oh, so it's some corny old reason that doesn't mean anything, anyways. It's just because
okay.
you're funny. That's what it is.
It was more of a sticking it to the state. Anyways, I'm gonna have to go with. If I'm trying to think of like if I got stuck with just this last drink, I might have to go with cherry Pepsi. Cherry Pepsi, number 3.
Valid. All right, guys, in the comments section. All right. Or email us, hit us on all the socials at the little.
Well, here, go through your list. You had
water, dihydrogen monoxide. All right. We got Body Armor, the whole brand. I mean, just all the flavors. And then we got some Simply Orange OJ.
Okay. I have seltzer
Not
water.
Orange juice in general.
All right. Or if you have a more refined, sophisticated palate, you might go with seltzer water. Very versatile. Coffee. Coffee, of course, like the drink of champs. Steve Jobs, Tim Cook, all the CEOs who have ever done anything drink coffee. You can quote me on that one. And cherry Pepsi, because if you go to a restaurant and they don't have cherry Pepsi, it's like, what am I doing here? Because they usually don't have seltzer water, and that's the issue. If they had seltzer water, I'd say, give me some seltzer water then. But you got to go to like a high-end $250 plate or something like that before they start giving you seltzer water with your food.
Hold on, real talk. So I remember when I was a kid, me and my buddy Carl, we used to go up to the.
Oh, Carl.
We used to go to this little like drive-through, and like his parents would always send us up there with like $1 and a nickel, get us an RC cola. And dude, cherry RC cola used to be my most favorite soda of all time. And let me tell you, it is the rarest soda I've ever.
Oh yeah.
For some reason, it's like just non-existent.
It's just gone. It's just gone. Yeah.
Is there a reason for it? Like, if anybody knows why, like RC.
Let us know in the chat, right? Because I know a lot of things, but I don't know what happened to RC Cola, which is, I think it's Royal Crown.
Cola, though. It's gotta be the cherry.
Dude, I think all of Royal Crown Cola, I believe that's what RC stands for, like got nuked. I don't know.
Dude, maybe it was the greatest soda ever invented. Like
Taliban. Because I could have sworn back in 2001, I saw Osama bin Laden on CNN.
What?
When he was when he was saying that he didn't hit the Twin Towers, I could have sworn I saw a can of RC Cola in that dude's hand. George Bush put an end to that. I'm telling you. If you know the real reason, let us know in the comments. But Taliban, Osama bin Laden, he ruined it for all of us.
I'm just saying, cherry RC cola might be some of the greatest substance I've ever put in my gut.
Whew.
Right.
Dude, I think
I
you
can
are.
taste it just thinking about it, bro. My mouth
I'm
is
telling
watering.
you are going to be sore when you finally do get one of those, and you're just like, oh, this is not what I remembered
Dude, if
whatsoever.
I ever see it in stores, I'm buying the whole show. I don't care how broke I am. I don't care what bills I got to pay. I'm buying all of them. All right?
Man.
I'm finna act up. And I ain't lying either.
Well, in the chat, if you know where we can find it, I mean, I don't know, maybe we can check Amazon or something like that, but like, let us know. I am in the New England area, but I'm not driving more than an hour. So
New England? Bro, you're from Boston. What?
That's in New England.
Oh. I don't know. I'm not a well-traveled man. I'm only 20, dude. I've been to Ohio. All I see is cornfields and Walmarts, all right?
Ay, caramba. Anyhow, if there's any in New England that's within an hour radius of the city of Boston, let me know. But if not, I'm not driving that far. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's your
What else we got? Because what are we on time? We're at 7.
52 minutes.
All right, folks, we got 8 more minutes with you all.
Oh, let's be honest. I could run him past it.
Yeah, we can. And then for the community, right? It's like we've been doing these long forms. Let us know if you want like a more abridged 30 minutes, half an hour. I listen to stuff on YouTube that's like 1 to 2, maybe even 3 hours sometimes. Typically it's when I go to bed or when I'm at work and I'm like working on some like remedial, like not remedial, like medial tasks like spreadsheets and stuff like that. I'll listen to something long, like a podcast, on YouTube. So you guys should too. You should listen to this. Just keep playing it over and over and over again.
Beggars can't be choosers, Will.
And sub.
Yeah,
we need 1,000 subs.
Go like and subscribe. I mean, or don't. I'm not. I mean, it's your guys' world. I just live in it. All right. I don't make the rules. All right. You don't gotta yell or anything. But
well, my thing was is like I was like I don't want to be like a beggar of likes. I don't care about likes. Like go ahead and dislike it because a dislike is just as good as a like. But it would be nice to like develop a following.
He's a liar.
No. I got the title. The 3-year-old is looking for something. She's got a little mischievous.
Another thing that I did put on the notes today for the podcast is some hot takes. All right. This is a very serious hot take. All right. And I really want to get everybody's opinion that I can think of. All right. So, viewers, I want you guys to comment very, very seriously on some of these hot takes. All right. Hot take number 1.
Stephen A. Smith in the building.
Alicia can hop in on this too. All right. She can get a quick peek. Hot take number 1. All right. The crust on the pizza is the worst part of the pizza.
Okay, hold on. Time out. I'm not even gonna. The thing is like we got to talk about something here. When you're gonna do these hot takes, you got to give people somewhere to go. There's got to be a great part. There's got to be a not so great part about a pizza.
Great
like
part
whole
is
thing can't.
Mid. I mean, the best part of the pizza, your sauce, your toppings, your cheese. The crust is not it. I find too many people in life. So when I eat pizza, I eat the pizza, and then I see my crust, and I throw it out for the trash pandas, aka raccoons. All right, that's where the crust goes. But
this man is just so wrong. Let me explain this to you. The whole dang pizza is made out of crust, okay? If you are so stressed out, then just order a side of marinara, dip your crust in the marinara and eat it. But for me, frankly, like, I don't know what kind of pizza you fool with in the Midwest, but I don't eat pizza where the crust isn't edible. What are you talking about? Okay,
dude,
next.
The crust is not that good. All right, like it's not enough like crust to sauce to like toppings ratio. The crust is awful. Like you will never find me in your life eating the crust of a pizza. It goes to a trash panda or in the garbage can.
My God. Okay, I'll take. What do you got?
What?
Yeah, it's wasteful. It's wasteful. It's wasteful.
Dude, Hey, I'm helping out the food chain and outside of my doors.
I don't think we need to be feeding raccoons, but
The trash pandas need some love too. All right, Will, stop playing, dude. You're
hey,
such a hater, dude.
in the comment, let this guy know whether or not you enjoy the crust or if you toss it. And I'm telling you what, most of the people who toss the crust, I can tell you right now, they're Pizza Hut people. And you can't help Pizza Hut people. You can't save Pizza Hut people. Pizza Hut people are just gonna do what they're gonna do, and that greasy, disgusting crust
Oh my,
doesn't
Will,
even deserve to be given to raccoons because I would say it's to their detriment.
You know what, Will? I think I know what happened. I think you moved out to Boston and you got poorly influenced by them rich people out there building million and billion-dollar companies and all that good
Oh
garbage.
yes, all the pizza conglomerates that just kind of rained upon
Hey, I know Jeff
little old
Bezos
Boston.
lived off of pizza. All right, Little Caesars is the best deal you can find in a pizza. All right.
Oh my lord, come on now, people, come on. Would you set him straight? We need comments in the
Okay.
chat.
Okay.
I don't even care if you send us an email. I will give you this man's phone number if he keeps
Oh,
it up.
see, you're overstepping. I like that. I'll change it. I'm about to. All right. Anyways, next hot take is vanilla ice cream is better than chocolate.
Well, it was real, y'all, running this podcast and being here, but I
You're
cannot.
playing right now, dude.
No,
All right. When you go to have a root beer float, what kind of ice cream?
I don't indulge in root beer floats.
A root beer float is a generic classic.
Right, and I don't mess with
Like that.
generics. I don't mess with generics. Give me
Vanilla.
chocolate with toppings all day. Like, get this
Stop it.
vanilla crap out of
Nah,
here.
dude.
You can't
Listen.
even eat vanilla ice cream. You can't even eat vanilla ice cream just by itself. It has to have something on it. Nobody goes up to the counter and says, "Oh, hello, I'd like a double scoop of vanilla ice cream." And then I'll say, "Well, what would you like on it, sir?" "Oh, nothing." And I'd say, "Sir, excuse me, are you okay? Do you need medical attention?"
Nah, see, here's what you got to understand. You're going to your favorite ice cream place of all time. You want a banana split. They ain't putting chocolate on there.
I'm sorry. Oh my
They're putting
lord.
vanilla.
This generation, Gen Z, I swear, I worked at an ice cream parlor. Okay, we will
And
put
guess what?
whatever kind of ice cream you
Vanilla
want.
was the first to go.
No, it was not. I will tell you that a lot of people either got the the vanilla strawberry chocolate,
The vanilla.
which
The new
made up 1/3 of the sundae. Okay, so you're trying to tell me. Secondly, most people went for the higher end flavors, like the give me a butter pecan sundae, give me a peanut butter cup sundae, or just give me all chocolate with the toppings. I do not ever remember scooping a sole vanilla sundae unless it was for like a 5-year-old. My 3-year-old daughter likes vanilla, and that's about where the line should end. Next take.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Y'all just need to fast forward to this
That's
part
it.
of the
I'm
podcast
disappointed in
because
that.
everything else is just drivel compared to what's going down right now.
Hey, I am disappointed in you, Will. All right. You're probably drinking a vanilla milkshake right now.
Cheer one.
Real talk. I went to Cedar Point not too long ago with a couple buddies. We went to the beach or whatnot. And on the beach, you got the boardwalk, you can, get ice cream, food here and there and stuff. Well,
Yeah,
we went yeah.
that must be new.
Yeah, it's been about 60 years since you've been there, I understand. But anyways,
Really, I haven't been there since you were 5, so that you're about right.
for any information, that was 15 years ago. I'm 20 now, almost 21. Anyways, so we went to Toss and we got ice cream. Well, they just had they had like Cookie Monster, vanilla, and like I don't know. It was there wasn't even chocolate there. Like that was the thing. Like they didn't even offer chocolate. It was some stupid corny flavor like banana, like
No.
munch or something. I don't know. It was goofy. But what was weird is like I was like, well, like I don't know what Cookie Monster is. I know what vanilla is. So and I just got a milkshake. Something, it's 95 degrees outside. I'm hot. I don't need all that anyway. So I got a milkshake. I got a vanilla milkshake, and let me tell you, it was the most boring milkshake I've ever gotten in my life.
Thank you.
No, I didn't. I don't think it's because it was vanilla.
Trust me.
I want to say it's because They didn't have cherries. All right. The whipped cream, there wasn't. All right, when you get a milkshake, it's got to be like 2/3 whipped cream, 1/3 milkshake. All right, everybody knows that. Whipped cream is like a goated substance. And then like it just they put way too much milk in it. So it was just like milk. And I mean, I just said earlier, I don't even like milk like that. Like I just don't. I don't know, it was weird. I felt like sharing that. I really needed to share it. It was really bugging me all week.
Yeah, here's the holes in your story, right? If you have to have condiments come and save the day, then you done messed up, right? I've never heard of someone saying, "Oh my God, this chocolate just isn't rich enough." But anytime people talk about vanilla, they talk about, I got to get the syrups, and I need the whipped cream, and I need the chopped nuts, and I didn't get my
Oh,
cherry. And your
week.
aunt's the only person. Your aunt's the only person I know who won't eat the cherry on a Sunday or anything that has a cherry on it. But if you have to be saved by other flavors, then you're just not a worthy top tier ice cream. You're literally just the foundation that of which all ice creams were made from. But that doesn't mean that you are.
That's why it's the best.
It's not the best, dude.
Dude, if it wasn't for vanilla, y'all
the Model T is the foundation of all vehicles, all motorized vehicles. Is it the best? I'm looking at. Jesus Christ. L take. Keep going. You are losing hard.
Today. All right. I am done. I don't even know what to say.
I don't know where we can go from here, people. I really don't. I want you to fast forward. If you watch nothing else, like let's just clip this. We need to talk about this ice cream situation because I think fundamentally your logic is flawed.
It's not logic, Will. It's taste buds, all right? And these are the realest taste buds on the history. You know what, guys? I think that wraps us up, all right?
I'm so mad right now. I am about to go to bed mad. I swear to God.
Today.
I'm so mad.
You know what, guys? This is the end of the podcast, all right? I hope you guys enjoyed us talking about absolutely nothing that we wanted to talk about. But I hope
really did it.
A little bit of something about us, or even yourself if you sit and think about some things.
Or the socio-economic political climate of the United States from the 90s up through present day, and including the Jim Crow era pre and post.
Okay, so yeah, whatever that is, make sure you follow all of our socials. Make sure you follow all the socials at The Little We Know Podcast, or email us at thelittleweknow@gmail.com. Yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Wish us luck. We will have a new video posted
Monday. We should have it on Monday. Yes, on Monday.
And, make sure you drop some comments, questions, concerns, and fill out our application to be on the podcast.
And smash that dislike button.
Don't listen to him. Like and subscribe, please. All right.
Toodles.
Oh, boy.